Zlat Luketic.
In this video I will explain you my experience working in the Philippines. After several months I was curious how people work here, so I wanted to see it from first hand how people work here, and I met my neighbor that makes small jobs around the city, and he needed help, so I went to help him, and that after turned into like everyday work. So I will explain you my experience, how what I didn't see. I've been working all around the world, traveling and working, and still I didn't see what I saw here in Philippines. First 2 days we did this cabinet. Everything is cut and done by hand out of plywood boards, and only what I don't like is they use nails instead of screws. And they paid me 500 pesos per day for this job here. I didn't finish the cabinet. They moved me to another job. This is the guy that was finishing and painting the cabinet. He is like responsible for final work and painting only. So when they saw that I know how to work, they gave me new project that they had already agreed. I was building drywall for one toilet in one big room. Then they asked me, do I know how to work with gips boards? Of course. Then I continued. I was not really happy with the work because their finishing is rough and it's already ready for painting. They don't make it nice and smooth. Even we are paid per day. Then they asked me, do I know how to do plumbing? Of course I know, I'm a pipe fitter, so I did plumbing. They had a problem here with the sink because they use funny anchors where to hang the sink, and it doesn't look like safe to me. It can always jump out, and that's what it was happening. It was all the time like jumping out, the sink out of its place. So I told them what we use in Europe, and then they didn't have other option, and they went to buy normal standard plastic anchors just like this on the photo, and I used the holes that were already existing on the sink, and so I told them the holes on the sink are for those screws, so they let me install it, and they were super happy with my job. And again they moved me to a new project, so this is my last what I saw from this work that I did here. The colleague stayed to do the final job and painting, so I don't have idea really how it was till the end, because I went down to do some welding. When I was done with this shelf that our client ordered, he was like super satisfied with the job, and then he ordered 2 more to make. So we extended our work for next week again. They asked me, can I come and work 1 more week again, and I did. But because it's not a help anymore, it's like real work from 7 to 4 and whole day long welding. There was so much welding because they ordered in the end 6 shelves. And I said I will come and work only for 1,000 pesos per day. So the man that I was working with, he went to ask the boss that we were working for, that was paying us per day, for my request, and he said that it's okay, he will pay me 1,000 per day. So I worked 1 more week full time from 7 to 4, and in the end of the week, when they brought me money, it was not 5,000, it was 3,000. I said, what's this? Isn't it that we agreed on 1,000 per day, 5 days, 5,000? They said, no, it's too much. They can only give like 600 per day. So they gave me 3,000, and that's where our relationship ended, because I really did not want to work for 600 pesos. 1,000 is also already low, but at least 1,000. They didn't follow the agreement, so I stopped working and I left the job and everything in the middle, not finished. Still, I don't understand the philosophy of them, because I weld 4 times faster than they do, because they don't use any safety equipment like welding mask or gloves or whatever. So they weld, you can't compare with my welding, and it takes them at least 4 times longer to weld same what I weld. So I don't know why they don't accept the facts to pay me 1,000 instead of 500 or 600 like this. They spend more days for welding, and in the end they spend even double to pay those guys that were welding instead of me, and their weld was not even close to my weld, how I am welding. The other funny thing is, when we really started like welding, I was welding from 7 o'clock, from 8 o'clock, from 8 to 4. I was welding, like not stop welding. And then next day when I came, my colleagues are looking at me like direct in the eyes, and they are commenting like something strange, and I'm looking at them like, what is the problem? And they are like commenting, my eyes are not even red. How come they are not numbed, they are not swollen, they are not red? How come? I was welding yesterday whole day long and nothing changed on my eyes. They were like in shock. And of course, I mean, I'm using mask, of course, how can something happen to me? And for them that's like so strange, because they weld without any protection. When they weld whole day, tomorrow they can't weld, they have to do some easy job because their eyes like are like red and they can't see good. So after one day welding they have to rest one day, and then they can weld another day again. So they were so like, it was so amazing for them that I can weld whole week from Monday to Friday, and that they can't see any changes on my eyes, and that I don't have any problems with my mask. I mean, it's like they don't believe that mask helps you when you're welding to protect you and your eyes, that nothing will happen to you. It's like they still can't accept protecting equipment. Before I will do welding jobs, they asked me, can I weld? And I told them, yeah, I can weld only with mask. And they said, okay, but they don't have masks. So when they came that I need to start welding, I said, I'm not welding without mask. And then they said, well, you can use sunglasses or something. And I said, no, I'm not welding without mask. So when they really saw that I will not weld, they went quickly in shop and they bought that dark glass for welding. They didn't buy a mask, they only bought glass, and they brought me. They thought I will be holding that black small piece of glass in my hand and I will be welding like that. But no chance, because my face will still get burned from welding. And then I made myself from that carton mask, and that's why I have carton mask for welding. When I was done with the bathroom, they asked me, can I do some repair on the water pump, because it was leaking all over the place. And I was shocked when I saw earlier how it was plumbing done here on the pump. So they bought only the parts that were leaking, some valves and elbows and T-pieces, and I made a way to connect those new parts with old already existing, because they didn't want to change the complete like pipeline. At least there was no more leaking in the pump station. The other funny thing for me is when they work, whatever they work directly on the floor. I mean, I was working, I started to work there and I saw there are like few tables there that are there in the corner for nothing, and I put those tables in the middle and I'm working normally on the tables, and it's much easier for me and it's faster and everything, but for them maybe they look on that like I'm too much complicating the world. I don't know, but what I noticed that whatever they do, they work, they do it always directly on the floor. They never find a way to put it something up on the table to make it more easier for them. After 2 days, they realized they can't keep up my speed, and then the main worker saw that it's better to use goggles for angle grinder, and he bought himself. So he saw that he is much faster cutting when he's using goggles. He improved. On my last working week, they bought one more welding machine, and that comes with welding mask, and the old man tried to weld with the mask, but he said he does not feel comfortable. He can't see good when he needs to weld, so he returned back to his standard welding without without mask. So these are their weldings without mask. Sometimes they connect something, sometimes not. Many times they need to do again because the material is not connected, and these are my welds. They are still not grinded, but I'm not professional welder, but I know how to weld, and as you can see, my welding is at least connecting two pieces together. And more welding without mask. They can't even have continuously weld because they're not using mask. They can't see what are they doing, so it's like they're only TIG welding. And this is mine. That's like final product before the other colleague will come and paint. So one more without mask and one more with mask. And they didn't allow me to do complete welding because they said I will spend much welding rods, so I did only TIG welding, as you can see on the photo. My conclusion about the colleagues that I was working with, I mean, these guys are working more than 20 years, but when you see how they work, it's like they don't have much experience because they didn't improve much. Maybe they didn't have where to learn how to improve, but their working skills are like on minimum. My final conclusion about working experience in the Philippines is foreigners don't look for any job in Philippines. Thank you for watching my videos.